So the truth is about these guys, I have two strong opinions. I think Dillon Gabriel's size is an issue. I would have a hard time building around him. He's small. He's serious and he's businesslike. I like his temperament more than Shedeur, who's silly and kind of goofy. But I think Shedeur was underdrafted. Shedeur is bigger. I think he moves well. I would choose Shedeur over Dillon Gabriel.
Shedeur outplayed Dillon Gabriel in both practice and in the preseason in their starts. No matter if it's a half each player played, you can't have it both ways. You can't say Dillon played as well, if not better, than Shedeur.
Two quarterbacks, one truth. The room is split. The stakes are real. Before we dive in, hit like and subscribe. Here is where I stand. I have two strong opinions. Dillon Gabriel's size is an issue. I would have a hard time building around him. He is small for the league and small for the plan. On the other side, Shedeur Sanders was underdrafted. He is bigger. He moves well. If I have to choose, I go with Shedeur over Dillon Gabriel because Shedeur outplayed Dillon in practice and in the preseason in their starts. That is the tape. That is the bar. If you love Shedeur, then comment one line for Shedeur, no matter if it was a half for each one. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot sit there and say Dillon played as well as Shedeur. You cannot say he played better than Shedeur. The debate around this quarterback competition has taken a sharp turn. The light got brighter with the arrival of Dillon Gabriel in the NFL. The noise rose. And then a national voice stepped into the ring. Colin Cowherd watched Gabriel's debut and did not hold back. He said, if this is going to be the offense moving forward, the team is in trouble. It was not only the interceptions or a few plays that went sideways, he pointed to size. He said that in the long run, Gabriel's size could be a real problem. Then he pivoted to Shedeur Sanders. He made it plain. After seeing both starts side by side, he would go with Sanders. He even said Shedeur was underdrafted. That is high praise in this moment. The league is stacked with hungry talent, and that kind of statement lands hard. Cowherd did not stop at preference. He layered in context. He said he personally prefers Shedeur, but he also laid out how Kevin Stefanski might have approached this. The Cleveland Browns head coach might have gone for seriousness and accuracy. Push the drama out, value clean execution. Then Cowherd went big picture. He said general managers across the league look for quarterbacks who are great, but also boring. The kind of quarterbacks who do not attract unnecessary attention. The kind who do not add the pressure of being a star off the field. That is where Shedeur brings something different. He brings an aura. He excites fans. He raises expectations the second he walks on the grass. That is a lot of added pressure for a team trying to build a solid and reliable offense. And Cowherd argued that is why the Browns went with Dillon Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders. Gabriel may not bring the same flash, but he could offer stability and focus for a team that wants calm water, safe hands, strong structure. You can see the logic even if you do not love the ceiling. Then the story shifted. Browns GM Andrew Berry stepped up and showed love for Shedeur Sanders. After watching Sanders drop a masterclass performance, he could not hide his pride. He went public. He said he was proud of how Shedeur handled himself. He praised how he operated on the field. He nodded to the truth that nobody is perfect. But the tone felt like a father figure. He leaned into belief in Shedeur's potential, confidence in his growth, respect for his command. That kind of endorsement changes the room, it changes the energy, and suddenly Shedeur is shifting the entire equation in the quarterback debate. You could hear the vibe in the way the praise came out.
Really, really good. Proud of you. Cool. Really, really nice. You were not fully proud. Kind of this. No, I am proud. And look, pretty plays. You operated like a pro. So just stack. I love when you tell the facts, dude. I don't know. But it is okay. It is okay. Listen, you did a nice job, okay? Take what you learned tonight, apply it to the joint practices.
Then roll it into the next. That is how it sounded. Supportive, direct, focused on growth. Then Stephen A. Smith entered the chat and raised the heat. He said it straight. Shedeur Sanders is the better player when you stack him against Dillon Gabriel, especially in the area that matters most, performance. He pointed out the pressure on Shedeur was massive. Every throw graded, every move debated. He still met the moment. He exceeded expectations. He played at a high level with the spotlight right on his face. Stephen A. said those are the moments where Shedeur shines. That is where you separate a quarterback from a passer. That is where his case looks superior. Stephen A. pushed even further. He said Shedeur outperforms Dillon in the first run of plays. He acknowledged that Dillon had moments of real quality. He said a few mishaps made the final picture less than perfect. He gave Dillon credit for the effort and for the good series he did put together, but when it comes down to it, Stephen A said Shedeur is the better player in game situations. Over 4 quarters, his overall game stands taller. It stands out in the long run. He even framed it like this.
I like, that's not to throw shade on Dillon Gabriel. He came out there, he had a couple of mishaps or what have you, but he played well, and I give him credit where it is due. Watching Shedeur move the offense, I thought his performance was slightly better than Dillon Gabriel.
That was the tone, respectful, firm, clear. Then the take turned from the field to the microphone. Stephen A called out Dillon Gabriel for his comments about Shedeur Sanders. He called it a really dumb comment to make. He said it is not the job of the quarterback to throw side shots. Your job is to focus on your game, master the system, execute under pressure. Do not take shots at teammates or the media.
Those distractions do not help. They drag the team. They pull energy away from the grind.
Stephen A did not pull a punch. He said Dillon's comments threw him under the bus. They put him in the middle of public scrutiny, and at the end of the day, Dillon put himself there. Stephen A called it what it was, an idiotic move, a move that adds drama without adding wins. He warned that others will be merciless, and they will not be wrong. Because who lit the fuse? You did. Very, very idiotic and stupid for you to say what you said. That is how he said it. That is how it landed. Then he drew a line about media management. He said Shedeur is far better at handling the press and all the external noise. If Shedeur had made the same kind of comments, he would have been crushed. He would have faced extreme scrutiny from every corner. Dillon is getting the benefit of the doubt for now. But Stephen A made it clear that the reaction would have been very different if Shedeur had slipped like that. And he closed that arc with a final verdict. Whatever positive moments Dillon had during the game got overshadowed by his remarks. He put numbers to the good moments as well. He asked how much would Shedeur have been excoriated for talking about the media that way. And he pointed to the reality on the field. You will look at people and hear them say it was not him. He is the dude that went out there and played very, very well in his preseason debut. This guy, Dillon Gabriel, still had good moments. On third downs, he went 6 for 6. Completing his passes was impressive. He had composure in the pocket and moved with purpose. There were a lot of good things to say about Dillon Gabriel, but he threw shade on his own performance by showing he was paying attention to stuff that does not help wins. That was the note. Praise with a warning label. So where does that leave us? The debate on this quarterback competition is at a fever pitch. The spotlight on Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders is only getting brighter. Fans are split. Analysts are split. Both quarterbacks bring a real set of strengths and a very real set of weaknesses. The competition tightened when big voices like Colin Cowherd weighed in. The room got louder. The opinions got stronger. Cowherd made it clear that he prefers Shedeur, yet he believes the Browns leaned toward Dillon Gabriel for stability. He said general managers tend to favor quarterbacks who are solid even if they are not spectacular. They want leaders who will not stir up too much attention. They want calm. They want reliability. Dillon, with his quieter presence, fits that mold. He looks like stability in a helmet. But Cowherd also flagged the flip side. Shedeur's flair and his ability to perform under pressure make him the more exciting choice. He brings juice, he brings belief, he brings the kind of spark that can lift a locker room, even if it also brings extra scrutiny. Stephen A landed on a similar place with a different angle. He said Shedeur has proven himself to be the superior quarterback in pressure moments. He criticized Dillon for taking the off-field route with comments that did not help the team. He said those distractions cut into trust. He stressed that Shedeur's ability to manage the media while playing at a high level in the middle of intense expectations sets him apart right now. Step back and you can see why this is not settled. Dillon Gabriel has had moments of real brilliance. He showed touch on timing routes. He showed poise in the pocket. On third downs, he was perfect in that stretch, 6 for 6. That matters. Yet the noise he created off the field put a cloud over the tape. It made the conversation about more than the ball. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders keeps shining. He handles pressure with poise. He takes the heat. He answers with production. He carries the aura, but backs it with control. He looks like a pro. He was underdrafted, and he is making people say it out loud. You can argue about size. You can argue about ceiling. You can argue about what a front office wants in a franchise arm. Do you want the great but boring driver who will not rock the boat? Or do you want the star who brings energy and heat and that extra burden of expectation? Do you want calm water, or do you want waves that move the tide? Here is what cannot be denied. If this is the offense moving forward and it keeps Dillon in tight windows with no margin for error, then the team is in trouble. If the staff leans into what Shedeur does well and lets him move and rip with confidence, the ceiling jumps. That is what the tape said in their starts. That is what the practices suggested. That is why the conversation went where it went. So I ask you, who has the edge in this quarterback competition? Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders? Do you agree with Colin Cowherd that Gabriel's steady presence is the better fit for the Browns right now? Or do you ride with Stephen A. Smith, who believes Shedeur thrives under pressure and is the better player overall? How much do you think off-field comments and media attention impact the quarterback's performance on the field? Is Gabriel's recent misstep something that will define his career? Or will he bounce back stronger and wiser? Drop your take in the comments. I read them all. Hit like and subscribe so you do not miss the next breakdown. And if you love Shedeur, then comment one line for Shedeur. The debate is not over. In fact, it is just getting started.